Hello friends, this is Dhananjay. Today I want to discuss another concept in XML, that is document type definition. We can also call it as a DTD. So what is the main purpose of DTD? Okay, so after learning XML, extensible markup language, so if you want to describe preciously, like if you want to give a validity structure vocabulary for an XML document, then you can refer a DTD, okay, document type definition. It's known as DTD, okay. So here this is a way to describe the preciously the XML language, and it can able to check validity of the structure and vocabulary of a XML document against grammatical rules of an appropriate language. So whenever if you are specifying a root element and parent element and then child element, which the XML nodes, whatever the nodes that can be specified in a correct one by one manner. So it will check the validity of the structure, okay. And what is XML document in a brief? So it's a formal model and for defining the role of each element, which it has a specific meaning for each and every element, and which it defines the relationship between the various elements that forms the document. Like if you are using like employee, for employee is a root element, then on that employee you can able to define like address and employee first names. In the name again you can able to split like first name and last name, like that, which it has a certain relationship among the different elements, okay. The purpose of a document type definition is to define a legal building blocks of an XML document. So what are the different building blocks of an XML document means? So attributes, elements, attributes, and then entities, and then PC data and C data. So PC data means parsed character data, and C data means character data. So later I'll tell you the difference between those when slide comes, okay. Let's see, in another way you can have like a DTD can be divided into two categories. One is internal DTD and another one is external DTD. So main intention of internal DTD refers here where XML document has a DTD code, okay. So consider like I have one XML code. In that XML code, if you are writing a DTD related code in that XML file, so that we can also call as internal DTD or inline DTD, okay. So writing a DTD code externally, a separate document, and you can write XML document in another new document. Then if you link both the files, then it means external DTD, okay. Internal DTD means writing a DTD code inside XML document, writing a DTD in external, that which refers external DTD, okay. Let's see why what is the importance of DTD. So why we have to use DTD here. The main intention, like when I am giving information on applications of XML, at that time I raised one point like which it is an independent way of sharing data. One fourth application, which it is a independent way of sharing data. So for a main reason for a DTD means so to share the data in between multiple networks, or to share data between corporate sectors, to share data in between two systems, okay. With the DTD, an independent group of people can agree to use a common DTD for interchanging the data. So if you have a Facebook data, then the same data can be moved to another groups, like that, okay. So your application can use a standard DTD to verify that the data that you receive from an outside world is valid, of course. So all are using XML document for their data purpose, then they refer their DTD, so anyone can able to access that, okay. And you can also use a DTD to verify your own data, whatever the data that is existing using XML, the thing you can able to verify by using DTD also, okay. Which it has different standard DTDs for everything in the areas of data exchange, okay. So what is the syntax of DTD? So first remember, here we can have one delimiter, that is the doc type. You have to specify from less than symbol, there is angular brackets from here to here, that is the entire syntax of DTD. First one, doc type, that refers for doc type is a delimiter here, and element which it tells to the parser to parse the document from the specified root element. So that means this is a root element, okay. I'll give an example, then it's easy to understand. But remember, the syntax how we have to write. Okay, and what about DTD identifier? So it's an identifier which is a doc type definition, which may be the path of a file on a system or URL from an internet. You can able to use an external path, you can able to give an external resources. It is called external subset. That is a DTD identifier. You have to give system or URL from the internet. And here whatever the specified in the square brackets, that it's an optional part, optional list of entity declarations called internal subsets. External subsets nothing but outside of a resources, internal subset nothing but within a DTD code. Let's see an example for a DTD. Okay, see here you can have like element and then article, and then here whatever the contents, that is called a content model. Content model nothing but a group of elements or group of attributes will have. See here we can have like here article is a root element. In that article I can have like one more element, subchild also, you can able to call it like the subchild, title, author and text. Here whatever the title, that is refers to a parsed character data. So here title is a type of parsed character data, and the content of that, here section indicates this is a like a section star indicates content of a text element may contain a 0 or more section elements in this position. Okay, and content article. So here whatever I specified an article as a title element, that is followed one or more author elements followed by the text element. So author plus indicates one or more author elements, and here star indicates 0 or more selection elements, and this will refer hash PC data refers parsed character data which it has like a content. Okay, let's see an element declaration in DTDs. Element declaration in DTD which it refers one element declaration for each element type, like you have to specify element name and then content specification. So just now we observed one element, that is article, and then you can have like title, authors and like that, right? You can have to call as content specification or content model. What are the different content specifications are there, in which way you have to give? Okay, so you can refer means you can have first one is parsed character data. So which it think of a character data as a text found between a start tag and end tag of an XML document. Okay, XML element here. And mainly the PC data is a text that will be parsed by a parser and examined by the parser for entities and markups. So tags inside the text will be treated as markup and entities will be expanded. So here entities will be expanded, but a parser character data should not contain any ampersand symbol, less than symbol or a greater than symbol characters like that. So these need to represented by ampersand AMP and ampersand LT and ampersand GT, like entities representatively. Okay, here you can have like okay, and C data also we can have like C data means character data. So character data here can have text that will not be parsed by the parser, and inside the text will not be treated as a markup, or entities will not be expanded. That is the main intention of that's character data. Child means one child element, and here you can have sequence of child elements also you can place by using comma separator, or one of an element of C1 to Cn, then you can able to specify symbol. And attribute declaration in DTDs, attribute declaration DTDs nothing but here attributes are declared per element. You can use for each and every element you can able to use attributes also. For example, name, consider like a name. A name can have first name, last name like that, or you can take it as another one. Image will have like src, height, width like that. So like in the same way, if you want to specify an attributes for an element, then you have to use at least nothing but attribute list. Okay, so what I am discussing the concept of attribute declaration in DTD, how you can able to declare your attributes in a DTD code. Okay, so by using at least, you have to specify an element name, and then you have to give attribute name, and what is the type, whether it's a PC data or C data, you have to specify a type of an attribute, and then attribute default will has like required. Okay, example like given like here title, character data required, so number, section number, character data required. So like that, which it declares two required attributes for element section now. Let's see attribute declarations in DTDs. Here declared per element, like the same just now we observed, right? Which it has a section, it's an element, and here we can have attributes. So possible attribute defaults, here you can have required, implied, fixed default, like that. So here required, if you apply required means what happens? So it's required in each element of instance. So which it is an optional one if you apply implied. Fixed means default value, always this value will be default value, it is a fixed one. Okay, has its default value. If the attribute omitted from an element instance, you can apply default, so like a fixed. Okay, let's see types, attribute types in DTDs. So there are different types. So previously we observed character, parsed character data, that is PC data. Whereas in C data we can have string data. You can use the C data instead of here you can, in the previous slide I given like C data, right? Whatever the position that it specifies as a type, attribute type. Okay, this is attribute name, this is attribute type. Okay, here we have to specify what are the different types, means C data and A1 to pipe symbol, you have to refer ID or ID reference or ID references, that's a separator. Okay, so here you can have like C data, you can pass string data, or if you want to enumerate of all possible values for attribute for each in your XML name, you can use A1 pipe symbol like that. Okay, and you can able to use ID also for unique XML name to identify the element. You can use ID, or you can use ID reference to refer ID attribute for some other element which it refers ID reference. For example, consider like if you specify a value like employee ID. Okay, now I want to find the salary of a particular employee, then I can able to call an ID. Okay, so in a salary table and in an employee table, both where I am using ID reference, so you can able to use that type of things. For that you can use ID ref. Okay, now let's see an example how attributes will be specified and how the data types will be types of an attribute will be specified, and then how it will refer. See here in this example we can have an element, that is attribute list, one element is there here. For that an attribute, that is which it has like required, and here ID is specified with a type is ID. So for an ID which it refers here, and in site, for example, this I am displaying an information about journal information. So for journal information I am using a publications as a root element. Okay, that is root element. In that root element I am passing one attribute called type equal to journal. Journal is a value now. Okay, so whatever the thing what I am using, either you can use journal or in proceedings. Okay, so if I am using a journal, then you can use like publication ID like that, and then author of the particular publication. So Gerhard Wickham like that, see author name, and then text whatever the things you are writing. For site reference I am using CID nothing but site information, you have to call here. Okay, this is a reference, right? So the same CID it will refer in a citation, that is a reference here. So and one more thing, publication type, if I am using in proceedings also, then I have to refer the citation reference ID to public ID. So like this is an example how it will refer, IDs will be refer. Okay, and let's see the types of internal DTD and external DTD. Remember guys, internal DTD will have XML program. In XML program itself you have to write this DTD code, which it means internal DTD. Okay, so if you want to use an external, then you have to separate the DTD code. You have to separate this DTD code in a separate window. You have to save with the .dtd, and this XML file will be saved as .xml, and you have to link that DTD with this XML file. Okay, let's see how this internal DTD will work. Okay, see here what is the main root element here. First learn about XML, then go for designing DTD. That's a better idea to get an easy output. Okay, first I designed one root element called book. For book I am having like title and number of pages and price and edition. So I designed like this. Now for the thing whatever I specified like an XML program. For the XML program I am creating one DTD to describe the data. Okay, to check the validity of the data. So here I can use like XML version equal to 1.0, then that indicates an XML version using 1.0, and then you have to specify doc type that is a book. Okay, you have to call the root element, and for that book you have to refer what are the different conditional specification or content model. You have to refer all the elements: title, number of pages, price, and edition. Okay, for a title we refer like PC data is a type of data, that is a parser character type, and the entire things or all the elements whatever I specified here, that entire comes under parser character data. Okay, now what about the external DTD? External DTD means here which it refers so separated file, that is here this is XML file, right? This is one XML file which it is having like one.xml, and here I am using one test.dtd, that is separate. I separated the same code, previous internal DTD I explained, right? The same code here I referred, but this is separated. DTD is there, that is called test.dtd, and here xml.dtd. So if you want to link that thing, then you have to refer doc type. A root element is book, and the system is in a computer itself I have my DTD file, so I am referring as test.dtd. By using a double quotation you have to specify. So this will link your DTD file with your XML code. Now let's see the flaws of document type definitions or document type declarations. Okay, so there is, we can also call as a limitations or problems in document type definition. We have already had some experience with document type definition. So DTDs were created long before the creation of XML. So the basic purpose of DTDs was to define languages based on SGML, that is standardized generalized markup language, which it is considered to be a parent of XML. So although DTD is well accepted and used very frequently, they have several limitations, some of which are as follows. So here there is no built-in data types in DTDs, and no new data types that can be created in DTDs, and the use of cardinality, there is a number of occurrences of an element within its enclosing element in DTD is limited, and namespaces are not supported here, and DTDs provides very limited support for modularity and reuse, and we cannot put any restrictions on text content. And here, and one more thing, defaults for elements cannot be specified, and we have very little control over mixed content, that is the text plus elements, and DTDs are written in the strange like a non-XML format and or difficult to validate. So these are all the problems in DTDs. To overcome these the problems what I mentioned here, we can have a wonderful concept that is alternative of DTDs. We can call it as XML schema.